Hey guys, welcome back to Lynch's Garage. It's gonna be, I guess, mostly TR6 stories tonight. But I thought I'd take another shot of this tin roof. Let's pour a little bit of that right in there in the Irish shot glass here. Fill it right up to the top if we can. Yeah. Oh, spilt a bit. I'll put that on there. Slide that back over here. Take a sip of it. Grab your drink. And cheers for another week done. And whatever job you're doing. Could be a simple job or it could be a real hell of a bitch. You don't know until you start your week, right? Yeah, that's the surprise of working. Got some stories here though. Good to be back. Haven't been making any videos on the cars because I'm kind of caught up on the cars. Yeah, so, but we got some stories here. And I'm going to start right at, I guess, I'll start, yeah, okay. Just flash back to when I had the TR6 home in Dartmouth. Yeah. And I took Kenny for a ride in it. You guys remember that story? Blasting down by Micmac, and I had the stereo up, and he goes, no, 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 turn it down when I hear the exhaust. Turn it down, all that. And he's, after I dropped him off that day, I forgot to tell you, he said, I'm going to get one of these. I'm going to get me one of these cars. I'm going to get a TR6. I thought, okay. Yeah. And didn't he get one? I think it was only, I'm not sure it was late that fall. It might have been September or October that year. Sure enough, he got one. He got one. It was dark British racing green with a tan roof. Not a super light tan, medium tan roof. Really sharp looking. He got one, and he liked it. It was a 74, 75. I can't remember what year it was, but he only kept it for about a year because the electrical issues on the TR6s, as anybody knows, could be a TR6, it could be a Triumph Spitfire, or it could be an MGB, any one of them, you're going to have electrical issues, problems, because the wiring with the bullet connections, they weren't sealed well to the weather. And if you get corrosion in there, you had all kinds of electrical gremlins, right? And he tried taking it to garages, and I would say 75% of the mechanics then weren't uh, keen on working on those British sports cars, and they couldn't figure out the problems, right? So he he got fed up with it, and he ended up selling it. I think he only kept it a year, maybe a little longer. But you really got to know your way around a multimeter, which electronic technicians like myself, radio techs, know that, and you can pretty well fault find something pretty easily, uh, to where the electrical break is, or where there's resistance that is too high for that electrical wire, or current to a switch. There's all kinds of things you can check. But for the uh, for the average mechanic back in the day, no, they didn't want to touch that car. I had my issues with mine too, but I cleaned up a lot of the terminals and the electrical connections to all the signal lights and anything like that that gave me trouble. But yeah, they do give you trouble. So let's see, where was I here? Oh yeah. So so the TR6, when I got up to Gagetown, maybe it was probably the next year. It would have been 84. I decided, instead of having a single muffler that sat in sideways underneath in the back, with had dual, like pipes coming out the back. I decided I'm going to get dual exhaust, stainless steel. I got these big ass stainless steel that was called the Falcon SS stainless steel exhaust system, and they came off pipe on each side, and the pipes were, well, they weren't like 3 inch or nothing like that. They might have been 2.5 inch, but man, the sound out of that, holy jeez, it made that 6 cylinder sound awesome. Just beautiful sound going down the highway. So I put that on. That wasn't cheap back in the day. Shit, I paid. Geez, back then I think I paid close to $600 for those things. Yeah, it's crazy. So that's Engage Town, and then we get posted to CFB Borden because I took the mainframe computer course. So when I was in Gagetown, Warrant Officer Campbell told me I got 3 choices. They're going to give me 3 choices. He said, you can go to Germany, you can go to Moose Jaw, Saskatchewan, or you can go on a mainframe computer course, specialize in that. It'll take 9 months to train you on it, and you have to go to school in Kingston. And I thought, well, maybe that would be good for Civvy Street. I didn't know, but really, it really wasn't any good for Civvy Street. But anyway, and they only selected 12 people across Canada to go on that course every year. So I decided to do it, and I went on the course. So we get after the course, you got to be posted to a base that has those mainframe computers, and they're all in the underground nodes, underground bunkers, they call them, the Defen bunkers. And of course, there's one in Debert, Nova Scotia. There's one in Borden, Ontario, where I worked underground. There's one in Penhor, Alberta. I don't know if they're all still there, but I think there was one in Carp, Ontario, Ottawa, or something. Yeah, there was a few across the country. So that's where I got posted. So I go up first. I drive up the TR6. Barb waits back with the little baby. Sam's only like a year and a half old, maybe. So I drive up in the summer. I think it's June or July, because I have to show up on base to report for work. So I have to stay in barracks when I'm there because they don't have a house ready for me yet. So I drive the TR6 up. I say, yeah, okay, I can drive it up. But everything's all cool until I get just about to Cornwall. You remember the last Cornwall story? Fucking motor blew up. Well, guess what happened on the opposite side of Cornwall, nearing Cornwall? I'm driving along, and all of a sudden I go, smell this. What the fuck? It's burning. What's this burning rubber smell? And all of a sudden, I had the roof up at that time. And the whole inside of the cabin just filled with fucking smoke and burning. And it was, what the hell? So I pull over and I get out and I go around to the backside passenger. I look in underneath the wheel well and I see all this rubber burning against the inside wheel tub. The wheel has now collapsed, bang, right into the inside wheel well, and it's just rubbing. And so I look underneath, and guess what? The trailing arm that's attached to the frame rotted there, was rotten, I guess, that was weak, and it let go. And then sort of there's no support, and the whole thing went in like that, right? So fuck, so I crawl along for 2 hours, 2 friggin' hours, till I get to some spot where I can get a phone. Right? No cell phones back then. I just crawl along. I'm going about maybe 5 miles an hour, man. Just like a couple tires on the edge of the pavement, most of the car in the gravel side, and just putting along. 18 wheelers are going by me. All cars ripping by me. Nobody fucking stops and offers any fucking help at all. So I'm crawling along. 2 hours later, I get to a information booth, like a tourist information booth. So I pull in there. I get inside. I look through the phone book. I look for welders. Right. I called up a couple of welders, but I think it was only maybe the second one I called. I said, "Listen, man." I said, "I just need a plate, you know, 1/4 inch plate, uh, mounted, welded onto the frame box, so that I can attach. The A arm can attach again." And they said, "Yeah, we don't know when we'll get there." I said, "Listen, I'll pay you double. I'll pay you double what the cost would be." And sure enough, they came out, the guy with a remote welder on a truck. I ended up paying him double. I don't know what it was. I thought it was $125, maybe more. Anyway, jacked her up, put a plate in there, welded it all around right there on the spot. Got me back on the road in a couple hours. Then I was back on the road, man. So a lot of little problems with this car I had. I still loved it though. So where else? Edge of the highway. Steel plate. Yeah. No, I got written here $250. Okay, $250. It would have been 125. Yeah, if I didn't pay double. So what else we got here? Did I skip something here? No. Let's see. So I just get into Borden, just get through the gates of the base, and all of a sudden, guess what? The clutch pedal goes right down to the floor, right to the floor. So I think I was in like second gear, and just chugging along second gear, and trying to keep it going as I pull up the stop signs, and just chugging away, and it's bucking them, because you can't shift the gears, man. If you can't put that clutch in, everything's all locked up, right? You can't change nothing. So I get it to a parking lot, one of the big parking lots there. I pull it in there and I look underneath. I look at the slave cylinder that's back underneath there, and sure enough, it's pissed out all its fluid. It's gone bad. The slave cylinder for the clutch has gone bad. So I'll call up somebody for parts, and I don't know. It takes about a week to get the part in. The part comes into the base, and I get underneath and I install it and bleed the clutch, and I'm good to go. So it's good then. But it's just one thing after another, right, man? One thing after another. Oh, you guys get your drink yet? Got to get your drink. Beer, wine, cooler, you know, vodka, rum. I don't know. What else could there be out there? Snaps. I don't know. Many different drinks. Anyway, so yeah. Let's see. Where are we at here now? So August, Barb gets moved up in August. They moved Barb up, and how did I do that? I must have flew back and then drove the Bronco up, because she didn't drive by herself, not with the baby. So I must have went back and then drove the car up, the Bronco up. That's right. Yeah. So let's see. My job there. The problem was my job for the mainframe computers in the underground node. It was kind of boring. Pretty cool though. They had you walk in, the doors open, slides open, everything's sealed. They had one side had a decontamination chamber in case you had radiation. You could wash all the radiation off you and go through. This was built for the Cold War, right? So sort of like Get Smart, this facility. So yeah, my shop, of course, was down, way down under, not on the main level where the commissionaires were. So so you'd start your maintenance on your mainframe computer, your B4800 Burroughs mainframe, and basically by 10 o'clock, you had all your work done. You did all your magnetic tape drives, the big reel tape drives that spin super fast. You had to check all your voltages, your vacuum points. You just do routine maintenance on those, and had to check your circuit cards in your mainframe if there's any issues. And it was just, you're done by 10, and then you're bored all day, right? So by January 1990, I said, I can't keep doing this. I can't keep doing this. It's just, I don't know, just boring, right? I was used to being on the base in Gagetown, and we're always out doing something. There's always something to do. But here it was just too damn boring for me. So I said to Barb, I said, on my birthday, February 13th, I am putting in my release. And she agreed. We're going to move it all back and go back to Dartmouth and find work and start over there. And but in late January, didn't they hit me with alert? That's a posting up north, close to the North Pole. Well, kind of close. Maybe it's 1,000 miles. I don't know what it is. It could be 2,000 miles, but it's up north, way up there, and it's a 6-month posting. Yeah. Well, how it happened, this is funny. So I'm in the coffee room. I don't know, probably having a Diet or Coke or something. Yeah. Coke and a bag of chips or something. And up comes a major. He walks up to me. He goes, Lynch, I hear you're going to alert. I said, I haven't heard anything about that. He said, well, you better go talk to your sergeant because he knows. I'm thinking, they think they got the card on me. I'm thinking, well, I'm already going to put my release in. You guys just upped it by a few weeks. That's all you did, right? So I go down, and I talked to Sergeant Gerard, and he said, yeah, you were selected to go to alert, for 6 months, starting in, I don't know when it was going to be. I think it was going to be like June or July, something like that. I don't know. And I said to him, and he's a good guy, Sergeant Gerard, French guy. I respected him. He was a good boss to have there, and he was fair and all that, right? So I said, could I have a meeting with you at 3:50, around 3:15, 3 o'clock, something like that. I wanted to do it toward the end of the day. We were done at 3:30, I think, at that place because we started at 7 or something. And he said, yeah, no problem, Ronnie, no problem. I said, okay. So I go home for lunch, and I say to Barb, I can't wait till my birthday. I wanted to do it on my birthday because I signed up on my birthday back in 82. Now I wanted to put my release in on my birthday. And I said, I can't because now they just threw alert at me. So she said, okay, just do it. I said, okay. That's what I did. So I go back, like I said, I tell Barb. So I meet with Sergeant Gerard. I can't remember his first name, but I tell him that I want to start my release. I sit down in his office. I said, I want to start my release papers. I look right at him. right? And he says, "No, Ronnie, you're going to get your master corporals." Because I was a corporal at that time, right? Now, you're 4 years, you're getting due for, you went from private to corporal in 4 years and corporal to master corporal, like roughly 4 years, right? So you're going to get your master corporals. I said, you know what? I said, they could make me sergeant and I still ain't going to stay. I'm still not staying. And he's like, ooh, this guy's serious, right? So he went down to admin and started the papers for me. Yep. Started the papers for me. I think it's Guinness time, people. Cheers. Get your drink. I got to get my Guinness. And I got my father's mug. But I'm going to check this damn phone. Oh, it's still recording. Look at that. Bingo, bango. There's a Guinness. The old harp, people. And the good old mug. That's what we got right here. So, let's see where this goes to, people. Let's see what the next step goes to. Yeah. So, basically, once that happens, so it's probably got up to the officers, and that officer, that major, is eating his words now. Right? But it got to the chief warrant officer, of course. He knew he knew I meant what I said, and because he knew me through Pat Kramer. It was actually his uncle. His uncle was Casey. Casey was the chief warrant officer there, and I went into his office, and he said, "Yeah, Ronnie, I can let you. You can go in 3 months if you want. If you really want to get out, you can get out. I can let you go in 3 months." And I said, "No, no." I said, "I want to stay for what everybody normally has to stay for. They got to stay for 6 months." I said, "Because you got to get my replacement in," and I heard my replacement is coming from out in BC. I said, "I'm willing. I want to stay till. I don't want to leave you guys short or nothing." I said, "I'll stay till my replacement comes in August." I think it was mid-August or something like that. I got out. He said, "Okay, yeah." And this guy was like Kramer, like he's 6'2" or 6'3" or something like that. He's a real hardcore, like Clint Eastwood in some of Clint Eastwood's army movies, right? He's that he's that sort of guy, right? But no, he treated me fairly, and he'd have us out there too, and I didn't mind that. He had us running 3 times a week. First thing in the morning, that's what you did. You got into your PT gear, and he had us running through the trails of Borden, through the woods, and just running our ass 3 times a week, I think it was. But kept everybody in shape and all that, so it was good. Yep. Old Casey. Yep. And because I got out on my own accord, now there's a weird thing. You could be a shit disturber, smoke dope, and get fired, and then legally they have to send you back to where you signed up, back to your home base. So if you were from Newfoundland, they'd have to ship you back to Newfoundland, all expenses paid. But if you got out on your own accord and you were not, if you were honorably discharged like I was, and you got out, you got zero. You got fuck all. We're not giving you a red fucking cent. So it cost me and Barb about $3,000 to pack up all our belongings in a 17-foot U-Haul trailer, and with a car trailer on the back to haul the TR6, right? And so what happened? My brother Chris and his wife Jane, they came up. They flew up and we thanked them for that. They flew all the way up to Toronto. I think we picked them up there, and then so Chris and Jane were in the Bronco. Somehow there must have been a jump seat for Sam in the big moving truck. So me, Barb, and Sam must have been in the moving truck with the trailer with the TR6 on back, and then Chris and Jane following in the Bronco. I think the first night we must have stayed at Cornwall. There's Cornwall again. Nothing happened there though. But so we get up the next, we head out from Cornwall, and what was happening there? We get to a place called La Potiere. I think I'm pronouncing it right. LA space POCATIERE. Really cool place. Me and Barb and myself, when I was on my own too, we used to always stay in the motel there because it was just off the highway and it was a good motel, good food, and all that. So we'd stay there. Luckily, the incident that happened, it happened just on the ramp, just pure luck, the ramp that lead it right to that motel. So the motel was only up the road, a click, not even a click, right? So what happened? I'm boogieing down the highway, just doing normal speed. All of a sudden, I hear a little right, and I look in my rearview mirror, and there's sparks flying all over the fucking highway. Just fucking sparks. What's gonna blow up here? So I don't panic. I don't slam the brakes on. I just gradually slow down, put my blinker on, pull the whole package to the right, the big moving truck and the trailer with the TR6 on it, and I could see the TR6 leaning forward like this, right? And I thought, I'm fucking gonna lose the car here, right? So I pull over, and Chris and Jane pull up. They're following behind us. I said, and we look at the tongue of the trailer. The if you're looking at the back end of the trailer, well, the front left side snapped. The whole fucking A-arm part snapped and it was digging in, dragging on the pavement on the highway, right? Jesus. So we get the TR6. It's still running and all. I start it up. I pull it off the trailer. I drive it up to the motel. So Barb, Sam, Chris, and Jane are in the Bronco, and they go up to the motel. We drop them off. Chris takes me back for the big truck and the trailer, and I get the truck and trailer up to the motel without too much trouble because I'm just going to go slow, right? I call U-Haul up, and they say, "Well, we can't do it right now. This is like, I don't know. This is like shortly after noon, maybe. I don't know. Might have been 1:00. Can't do it today, but we'll have a trailer there tomorrow for it. Tomorrow morning at 8 or 8:00 or something like that." I said, "Okay, good enough." So being that, me and Chris are saying, "Well, frigate, got another night of drinking. Well, we have some beers," and so we got into the beers after supper, I guess. A few beers, and it's getting on around 10:30 or something. I crack a beer and Chris cracks a beer. It's holy shit, that's our last beer, man. Well, it was just a store right up the road. The store, they sell beer, probably, because all the corner stores and stuff like that had a gas station too. And so yeah, okay, we hoofed it up. We walked up. It was around, I think we left the motel around 10:50 at night. And we get up there, and we must have walked in that fucking store like 2 minutes after 11, maybe 2 minutes after 11. So I go to the big freezer units. I see these big King cans, man. Miller King cans, Miller Lite. They're this friggin' big, man. They only sold them, I think, in Quebec. Gigantic. So I I said, maybe a couple of these. Chris said, yeah, we'll grab a couple each. I said, okay. We grab them, take them up to the front counter, set the big bastards down, and the guy goes, can't sell them to you. No, he didn't. French accent. Can't sell them to you. I said, what do you mean you can't sell them to us? It's after 11. It's like 2 minutes after 11, man. 3 minutes after 11. You can't sell them to us? No. Wouldn't sell them to us. Bastard. Oh, man. We were pissed. Couldn't get our beer, man. So we got a little pissed on that. That wasn't good. Couple of minutes wouldn't even give us a damn break, man. Okay. Where am I now? Well, I'm going to be jumping around here in the timeline, but jumping around a bit. Yeah. Well, let's jump back to Christmas of 1986. So this is well before I got out. So I got out in 1990. That story I just finished was August 1990. This is Christmas 1986. I go down to Fairley and Stevens because I just got my corporals. So my pay went boom, my pay went up. I'm making a lot more money. And they went down, looked at a Bronco on the showroom floor. It was dark blue, man. Dark as you could get. It's the darkest blue I ever seen. Midnight blue, I think they called it. I'm not sure. Had a real nice interior. Real nice. Different color, like pinstripes of blue and stuff, different interior on it. And it was an automatic. It was a 4x4. It was the type you had to go out and actually turn the front hubs, lock the hubs. There's no special button inside to make it automatic 4-wheel drive. You had to go lock the hubs, and then you were in. You could go 4 low or 4 high. Man, that thing would go through anything. Had the big old Wrangler Goodyear tires on it. So I bought it. I bought it there. Shit, what did I pay for that? I think it was $16,800. That was quite a bit of coin back then. And the friggin' interest rate was almost as much. I think it was 14, 15, or possibly even 16% for that. Because our old Dodge Dart, the whole leaf springs, all the mounting in the rear end, we were actually could feel it swaying back and forth like this as we were driving it home that winter, and so we got to get something else. And I'm not sure who we sold that Dart to, but can't remember that. But we bought the Bronco, and yeah. And I guess we were driving back to Gagetown, and we didn't get far. Like, say we were just past the crossing area, Dartmouth crossing. Of course, it wasn't there then, but we just passed that, and we were down the highway a bit, and didn't I hear damn flat tire on the back passenger side. Thing went flat. I don't know what the hell happened. So I had to take it back, put spare on it, take it over Fairley Stevens. Had to put a new tire on it. Boom, we're good to go. It's weird shit like that, right? It ruined it when it went flat, and when, of course, it was riding on the flat, ruined all the sidewalls. You couldn't just air it up or put a plug in it. I think it was screwed. Then another bad thing happened at the another time we were going home. When would that have been? We were just getting. Well, I was in Oromocto then, Gagetown. So, and I know a Ford dealership in Fredericton repaired it all, repaired the Bronco. I'm sure it was summertime. It might have been summer '87. So the Bronco was still like brand new, like hardly no miles on it, right? So we're driving. We leave Dartmouth, and we get to where the border is, New Brunswick border, Nova Scotia border, Tantramar Marsh. Is that what they call it? Tantramar Marshes or something like that? Where it's all flat, and you see all those radio towers and all that stuff. Well, we're coming up over there. We're coming down the crest. We're going to the flat, and in the distance, I can see all these cars. They're all pulling to the right. They're all pulling off the road. Like what? I said to Bar, what the hell's what are these guys doing? Every car is pulling off, but I see a dump truck coming this way, coming at us. I didn't know what the hell was going on. So I slow my speed down, and here comes a dump truck. And you know what? Back then, they didn't put no tarps on the top, and it was the windiest goddamn day there. And rocks, no shit, the rocks like this, size of I don't know, silver dollars, maybe a little bit smaller. We're flying all in the air, just flying all over. They're just pelting cars, just pelting. It just destroyed my grill, came up, flicked all over my hood, smashed my windshield, took out the side mirror, like smashed that, smashed a bit of the front, the driver's side fender, because it mostly hit this side, but it hit up the center too and smashed the windshield, destroyed the whole front, and it just made a mess of it. Hit some parts on the roof. It was just totally fucked. It was just fucked. And I was like, oh my, it's not even a year old, this thing. I said, oh jeez. Oh my God, everybody, we were out talking to the people there. So some of us went up to the yard. There's a gravel yard up the road. We went up and reported to the guy that they didn't know who it was. It was one of the guys picked up a load of gravel. Didn't have any tarp. Who knows? Maybe they had no tarps in those days. I don't know. But anyway, that was terrible, man. That was just terrible. Nowadays, they probably would have just wrote the truck off and said, no, we're not going to expect you to. Because when they did the paint job to repair it, they didn't do a great job. You could look down, you could see all the little, painted over all right, but you could see the nicks if you looked. You could see it wasn't done very good. That was terrible. Anyway, don't want to leave it on a bad note, but that's what happened there. If we went back in time there a little bit. So where did I leave off here? Let's see how much time. Well, I guess I've been on for a little bit. So yeah, we got so we got the trailer, the new trailer, and we got on the road the next day, and we made it. We made it home. We made it home around, I think it was close to 4 or 5 o'clock that next day. And you know what? Little Sam, she didn't cry the whole time. She cried just as we were at the peak of Woodland Avenue, just at the crest. Just as we were coming down, we were only like 4 houses away from 80 Woodland Avenue. She just started to cry there. She never cried the whole damn trip. That's how good she was. That's how good she was. So I got I got some pictures maybe I'll dig out. Show you me taking stuff off the trailer and back in the TR6 in the backyard and all that. Yeah, we got home safe. That was the main thing. Could have lost the car, but yeah, you can replace the car, but you can't replace the people. I mean, if that trailer dug in and flipped and then took the whole truck sideways, who knows what would have happened? I don't know. Wouldn't have been a good scene. But yeah. Something else. There's another story. Might as well tell you another story about the Bronco. We were coming back from Gagetown. It was Christmas time to go to Dartmouth. I don't know, this might have been this had to be 88. Because Sam was just born in October. And this would have been, I don't know, probably the 20th of December or the 18th of December or something like that. So I'm sure she was just a baby. And a lot of times we leave Oromocto and we take it was called the Coles Island Cutoff, and it would cut off a lot of, cut 20 minutes off your time getting home if you went that way. But there was a fair amount of snow and slight freezing rain that day, and we thought we better stay on the main highways. Let's not take the shortcut. So we didn't. So we were going down by Sussex, New Brunswick, and I was just going slow because it was a little glazy. It was wasn't good, and we come down a long, gradual, sweeping road, the part of the highway. Just it gradually goes like that, and I'm just taking her easy. I'm maybe doing 80 clicks, maybe, and all of a sudden, the Bronco, just because it's so top heavy, it just pitches like this and just turns. Now I'm sideways. The whole goddamn thing sliding down the highway sideways, right? And I thought, can't panic, and I start just gently tapping the brake, just gently, and just very, very easily turning the steering wheel. And as I turn the steering wheel, I start to straighten it out, and I'm still in that lane over there. I see a big truck, might have been 18-wheeler, I don't know, it was a big ass truck anyway. It was coming my way, and I just pulled it in like that, and truck went by. People talk about Jesus take the wheel, because I don't think I had that talent to keep her in my lane. But man, something saved me. I don't know what the hell it was. Wasn't our time to go. Yeah, it wasn't our time. So let's see. That should be where we should wrap up. I'm back out of the military, home. Yeah, that's what we'll do. Next time when we, meet again, might be in about 3 weeks, because, could be some vacation time coming up here. There is some vacation time. We'll pick off where we arrive home, with the U-Haul trailer and the truck and all that, and unloading stuff, and go on from there. And yeah, that'd be good. Pretty good stories there too. So, like always, guys, thanks for coming back and sharing some time with me. A few stories here and there. But like always, I like each and every one of you to stay safe out there. You know what I mean. Thunder Road.